Herobrine, the thing that haunted all us Minecraft players. Some deleted worlds over him, while others dared to challenge the being. Or just made some terrible clickbait. But the problem is that in recent times, he seemingly disappeared. What happened to Herobrine? Like most creepypastas from the 2010s, Herobrine got his start on 4chan. The post was copied over to the Minecraft forums, and the story claimed that the player saw an entity with glowing eyes after listening to Disc 13. An example of this entity was added in the comments, and the link led to a video of a dark cave with Disc 13 playing. Now I want you to take in this video just for a second. At this point, I hope you noticed the thing on the bottom left. The crazy part of all this is that the video was uploaded the same day Disc 13 was added to the game. The next day, another user by the name of Enderfiend made a post about the cave sounds that were added. They stated that the white pixels would appear when these sounds played. Now here's something I didn't even know before doing research for this video. Before Herobrine got his name, or her name in this case, she was originally called White Eyes. Enderfiend's story described her as a creature that would stalk the player from afar, with no visible traits other than her blank white eyes. They believed that the entity was added in a Secret Friday update. The mystery of the update just allowed people's imaginations to go wild, leaving them to wonder if this was actually added in the game or not. As the White Eyes story started to spread throughout the Minecraft forums, two modified versions of the story were posted around the same time, with White Eyes now being a Steve skin with blank eyes, and finally getting the name Herobrine. While the exact origin of this version of the story is unknown, the earliest found evidence is an image on 4chan that was deleted, and a comment in a Minecraft forums post around August 30th of 2010. This new story claimed that Herobrine was Notch's dead brother, even though he stated never having a dead brother, or at least one that isn't dead. The most infamous early example of Herobrine had to be from the old Brocraft streamer Copeland. After taking a liking to the story, he decided to put his own spin on things. He retextured a painting to look like Herobrine and placed it in a work-in-progress room on his survival world. He purposely avoided the room until later in the stream, where he went into the room and, well, this happened. He left the game and ended the stream. But at this moment, Herobrine was introduced to a lot of people at once. While the full stream is seemingly lost at time, we can only hope for it to resurface one of these days. Another streamer, Patimus? Whatever. He made a stream where he fell into a lava pool that was clearly man-made. Right before he dies, he turns around to see Herobrine standing right above the pool of lava. He ended up leaving the world out of fear and came back to it about 10 minutes later, and Herobrine suspiciously disappeared. During a second stream, he could be heard in the background talking to his wife, telling her that he was trolling. And to say that the chat got mad would be an understatement. Copeland hated that Patimus outed Herobrine as a hoax. Around the time of the Patimus stream, Copeland posted a link in the chat likely as damage control for the situation. The link led chat to a site that had an unsettling image of Steve with realistic twitchy eyes and some cryptic text that you can pause and read now. It was based off another creepypasta called Wake Up, which had some touchy topics. As the Herobrine story started to gain traction, it spread like wildfire. Everyone was suddenly sharing their stories of Herobrine as if they didn't before out of fear of being called crazy for thinking it's real, as if no one would believe them. Various screenshots, fan art, animations, and videos based off of Herobrine were popping up seemingly out of nowhere. The earliest thing I could find is a video posted on the same day as Copeland's stream. The player walks down a stone hallway to the edge of a mineshaft but turns around to see a now familiar face. Only one day after the stream, the 2010 Minecon started, and because of the popularity boost Copeland and other content creators gave Herobrine, it became a hot topic at the convention. I mean, it was more of a meetup, but that's besides the point. Notch stated that Herobrine was a hoax, but kept joking as if he was going to be added. A couple months later, drama was starting on the Minecraft forum because of Herobrine. An admin asked Notch if he was ever going to be added to the game so they can settle this once and for all. Notch replied by saying, "I have no plans of adding Herobrine as is, but I do like the rumors." Since his response was still too vague, the same admin asked for clarification to get the spam to stop. Notch finally gave in and said that he had no plans for adding Herobrine into the game. On the topic of what people thought about Herobrine, the Minecraft community seemingly split over this creepypasta. While there was a lot of people who liked the idea and even made content based off of it, there was also a lot of people who hated him because of the amount of attention it was getting from the community. These people constantly complained about it getting overused or that he wasn't real and it was just a childish story. As a Herobrine believer myself, I understand that something like this can become annoying, but the whole point of it was for allowing people's imaginations to go wild with a cryptic story that anyone can put their own spin on and have fun with. It's having niche things like this that makes different online communities special because they each have their own little quirks and stories. It gives them a defined character. With all this being said, how did the developers themselves react? Well, the same thing goes for them, being that they were pretty split. Some developers liked it and entertained the idea, while others thought it was dumb. My favorite quote has to be from Capiche saying that he never existed, but when asked if he would update his stance on it, he replied yes, but he's watching me. When it comes to fan content, the first thing that comes to most of our minds is the flood of videos about him. This ranged anywhere from machinimas to sightings and mod reviews. I feel old for having to explain this, but a machinima is basically a skit or story that's made in a game. On the topic of mods though, the first known Herobrine mod was in the form of a server plugin called I Love You, a reference to an email virus from the 2000s. The plugin allowed players to build an altar to summon him. Later, different mods were made with different versions of the spawner, allowing Herobrine to mess with the world more and even stalk the player at random. Now, of course there was fan art, but I really think that's self-explanatory. But have you noticed how all of this fan content seemingly went away? Well, it isn't exactly because it was a trend that died off, but something that goes much deeper than that. I know this isn't the first time I bashed on the way Microsoft handled Minecraft, but they did have an important role when it came to Herobrine. Microsoft seemingly forced Mojang to just abandon the inside joke. Any references to him were removed from all the game's promotional material, where he would always be in the background. Minecraft used to have update logs displaying what was added, removed, and fixed in the game's launcher. Every time an update would come out, at the very bottom of the list, one of the changes they always made was removing Herobrine. This implies that their attempts to defeat the creature were failures, only adding to the mystery. Herobrine was also removed from the console edition's first skin pack when it was ported over to Bedrock Edition. I'm starting to realize now why Minecraft doesn't feel the same. Not only is the game completely different from its alpha and beta days, but it's also just too corporate friendly and clean. And the reason I have to believe it was Microsoft is because ever since Mojang was bought out by them, they started adapting a more professional and clean image and started to make some odd choices with the IP. Or it could be that they wanted to scrub the slate of anything related to Notch because of some, well, questionable things he said on the Funny Bird app. Okay, editor Sprix here, supposedly Mojang is still doing the removed Herobrine joke, but I can't seem to find it anywhere on their site. Also, Mojang still operates independently from Microsoft, but I have a hard time believing that they don't have any influence on the business decisions they make. Sadly, Herobrine is now just a nostalgic legend that seemingly disappeared. But I would be lying if I said that Herobrine completely went away. I mean, if he did, I don't know if I would be making this video. Although, the only time you do see him nowadays is in some clickbaity kids content or some video talking about his history. For most of us, it's just a memory from a bygone era of the game. Not only was Minecraft a big part of many people's childhoods, including my own, but so was Herobrine. I remember me and my friends would meet up and hunt him down in our worlds, making spawners and telling each other that we saw him or signs of him. Alright, I gotta ask this question quick. Do you have any of your own Herobrine stories? Tell me in the comments, I want to read them. This sounds like a weird question, but is it me, or does it feel like we're being watched?